Ba-da-ba-da-dum, ba-da-bum. Whoa, whoa. Chaos, craziness. Hey, everybody. Okay, get my phone situated here. Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to another Monday mini medicine card readings. Let me see if I can get my phone plugged in so I don't lose juice partway through. Charging. Hello everybody, welcome. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we are gonna do some medicine card readings. I am just lighting a candle so I can light some sage and smudge my cards. And I apologize if there's any background noise. I've got the patio door open and the fan going because I guess it's a little cooler today than it has been, but not by much. So it's still pretty hot here. All right, and so if you have not been here before, we are going to do readings and with the beautiful medicine cards with the different animal totems on them, and we've got a couple people already. If you are interested in getting a 1-card reading tonight, the first 6 people that comment yes, we have a couple already. The first 6 people to comment yes, and we're back. Cool. All right, so we've got Jefflin, we've got Valerie, we've got Roulette. So we've got 3 places left. Oh, Joseph gets 1, 2. All right. So I am going to just light some sage. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Deb. Your bunny crossed the Rainbow Bridge. Oh, okay, I will do a card for each of you. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Deb and Nancy, you are it. I think that's one of the quickest. The slots have filled out. So you're so welcome, Deb, and I am so sorry to hear that. I know how much you love them. The sweet bunnies. Alright, so smudging the cards. Smudge, smudge, smudge. We love to smudge. And again, I always forget to say this, but as an energy exchange, my suggested love donation to watch my video is to please share my video. So if you have someone that you would like to tag in the video, tag in the comments, or share the video to your wall or your page or your groups or whatever, I would surely appreciate it. So, and thank you. So, and for those of you, I posted earlier, I was supposed to have done a radio interview tonight. It was supposed to be live on the air at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And with one of my greatest teachers, Christina Bloom, who basically, she is the one who took me on my first real vision quest. And we were supposed to talk tonight. She was going to do an interview with me on her radio show, but the station, which is located in Illinois, is experiencing severe weather, so we had to reschedule. So September 12th is the new date, and I will post to remind everyone, but for those who are looking forward to that, including myself, I am sorry, and I hope you will join us in September when it actually happens. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a card for everyone. This is a card of guidance for everybody, whether you're getting a personal reading or not. And again, to remind you that as you're watching this, even if you're not getting a personal reading, pay attention, listen with your heart. If I say anything that resonates, like all of a sudden your heart just kind of goes bing, or something I say just like makes you pay attention or whatever it is, know that that is personal guidance for you as well. If you're watching this, everything you see, everything you hear is a message from the universe. The universe is always, always speaking to us. And so if you're watching this, listening to this, even if you don't have a personal card, the universe is still speaking to you through the readings of others. So nobody left behind. All right. Okay, we got one that jumped out. That is the card. Everybody's card this week is Deer. Oh dear. And what deer medicine is about is compassion, gentleness, if you've been watching my videos, which I've been doing for over 2 years now, you have probably heard the story that goes with deer. But in case you haven't, I will tell it again. So one glorious day, Great Spirit was so overjoyed and happy that he invited all the woodland creatures to the top of his mountain to celebrate with him. The only thing is that at the base of the mountain, there lived a troll that all the woodland creatures were afraid of. All that is, except Deer, who was so excited to party with the Great Spirit that she wasn't going to let anything get in her way. So she comes bounding up to the mountain, and the troll jumps out and threatens her, roars in her face. And rather than running scared or rearing up to fight, Deer just looked him in the eyes, kind of cocked her head, and said, "Why are you so angry? What did anyone ever do to you to make you so hurt?" And the troll, who thrived on conflict and resistance, finding neither of those things present in Deer, just faded away. And so Deer, by looking through those Bambi eyes, those eyes of childlike wonder, and seeing, you know, doing the namaste thing, the divine in her, seeing a divine being in front of her, seeing through the facade of pain and anger and emotion, and seeing the heart of another being that was in pain, offered compassion. By offering compassion to this being, she opened the path for all the creatures to approach Great Spirit. So never, ever, ever underestimate the power of compassion. Look at the world through the eyes of a child, like the beginner's Zen mind, beginner's mind, right? There we go. Now I'm straight up and down. Oh, and there's Daryl and Butternut behind me. So, and that's Windsor, the painted dog. So look at the world through the eyes of compassion. Look at the world through your heart and see the divine. When you're in touch with that divinity within you, that light within your own heart, that's what allows you to see the divinity in everyone that comes before you. And it doesn't matter what the facade, it doesn't matter what illusions, it doesn't matter who the person thinks they are still divine. They are still part of the same divine creative source that you are a part of. And by seeing them, remember in quantum physics, observation, perception changes that which is observed. It's by observing them from the place of divinity, the place of compassion, that opens the door for them to find their own divinity and their own compassion. And not just for those coming in front of you, but the one that you see in the mirror. Self-compassion. You are all the love, how do I put it? You deserve to give yourself all the love that you deserve from everyone else. I don't know if that completely made sense, but love yourself. That is so cornerstone to everything else, is that love of self. And it's not love that it's not a competition. Just because you love yourself doesn't mean you love anyone else any less. By loving yourself, you are loving the divine within you, and therefore the divine in everything around you. So love yourself. You are worthy. You are more than worthy. You are more than enough to deserve, to give and receive the love that you deserve, because that's who you are. Okay? So walk gently through the world. Walk with compassion. That doesn't mean you need to fix and heal the world. Just look at the world through the eyes of the divine. Like my guides told me not too long ago, look for the divine presence in every situation. And if you don't see it out there, guess what? It's right here. You are the divine presence in every situation. All right. Jefflin, my friend, you are first. Woohoo! Let's see. Who coming out to play with you this week? I hope you're doing better, Jefflin. I know you've been experiencing some loss of your own. Oh, okay. Salmon leapt out of the cards. And salmon is about going home, as in returning to your origins, as in remembering who you are, remembering your source, returning to that place of purity. when salmon comes up, it's not so much if you get where you're going, but when you get there. And when you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are going to reach that place of fulfillment, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, then everything up to that point is adventure, because you know that no matter what arises, that you are going to get through it, and you are going to get through it stronger than when you entered it. And it's not, you know, like we have this puritanical idea of salmon. Oh yeah, he's got to fight the good fight. He's got to go against the grain, go against the flow, and fight his way back to where he deserves to be. And the thing about salmon is salmon sees pathways that others can't. Salmon sees the currents that flow backwards. Salmon sees the underflow, sees the ebbs and the whirlpools, etc., that are in the river, and those are the currents that salmon follows. Those are the currents that carry salmon home. He's not just totally fighting. I mean, there is some of that. But the other thing, last fall, I had a conversation with a salmon, and what struck me the most was that, you know, we think, oh, this is so hard, this is so tiring, I'm exhausted, having to fight for what I deserve, trying to fight my way home. And there was none of that. He was like champing at the bit, like just brimming with enthusiasm. It was like this enthusiasm that drowned out any of the downside, any of the, well, how am I supposed to put this into words? It was like he was getting home, hell or high water. I keep using that word. That's my dad. He used to say that all the time. But salmon is determined. There's this enthusiasm, this commitment, this intensity of going home. I am going home, and nothing is going to stop me. I am so excited, and this enthusiasm. This is like that quote from Joan of Arc. I am not afraid. I was born to do this. So, and in I think it's in Norwegian or one of those languages, like Norwegian, Swedish, that area, the root word for salmon is the same root word as somersault, because they would watch these fish and they would recognize in these fish this joy, just this absolute joy, rough and tumble joy of jumping up the waterfalls. They had so much joy that it would carry them up the waterfalls, and they would watch their children tumbling in the grass on the lawns and somersaulting and jumping and spinning, and they equated those energies. So don't think that it's like, okay, I've got my bags on my back, I'm up running uphill the whole way. Let that knowingness within you, let that determination, knowing without a shadow of a doubt that you're going to get where you're going. Because when you know you're going to get there, everything else is adventure. It's not, oh my God, what's around the next corner? What if it kills me? It's like, no. Whatever's around the next corner It may be difficult, it might be challenging, but you are guaranteed to come through whatever comes at you. You are greater than anything that you can fear. You are greater than anything the universe can dish out at you. In fact, the universe, like I say, the universe is safe, friendly, and abundant. So anything that appears in your life is there for your benefit. The universe has your back. And it's not going to give you a challenge without giving you the resources to overcome whatever that challenge is. You don't get just the puzzle, you get the answers as well. You might have to uncover them. You might have to dig a little deep in order to unravel the answers, you know, unravel the riddles or whatever. But you are guaranteed to get home, okay? So, when we make that, it's like that, the cosmic GPS system. When we set that intention of where we're going to go, we lock in, we anchor that destination in the cosmic GPS system. And then the universe guides us step by step by step on how to get there. And there are no wrong turns. And, you know, if you have to pause and rest up in between jumps forward, that's okay too. Rest, give yourself the rest and the nurturing you need to get there. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But in other words, you are doing better than you think you are, and the universe is behind you. And whether things make sense or not, there is a purpose to them, and at some point, it will all make sense. Okay? Sending a lot of love back to you as well, Jacqueline. Thank you. Valerie. Valerie is up next. Let's see. Who wants to play with Valerie? Okay, Valerie. You got Heron. I have been working a lot with Heron, especially, like, even lately. What was I doing the other day? When Heron comes up, the first thing that I know is that I need alignment. Feet in the earth, head in the sky. Alignment. And being present. I know that's something you've been working on. That being present, and the fact that, the fact that he showed up today and he's upright shows how well you are doing at that. And it's a reminder that it's only from that place of stillness, of alignment, that you can it's only from that place of alignment, that place of stillness, that what is trying to find you can find you. Like that saying about what you are seeking is seeking you. Well, if you're running around chasing it, trying to find it, it's out there running around chasing you, trying to find you, and you're going to keep crossing wires and missing and, So what the best way to get what you need? Stillness. Stop running, stop chasing, and allow them to find you. Just like the way that the way Heron stands in stillness, casting a shadow on the water, and it's the shadow, the coolness of that shadow, that attracts the fish that the heron needs to eat in order to be nourished. So let the answers come to you. And I know, like in our modern world, our modern society, you know, and we've got this, even the, kind of tied in with a whole bunch of different new age philosophies and different things, and all those motivational, you gotta get what you want, you have to go for it, you have to like claim it, you have to blah blah blah. And the thing is, the more you chase something, the further away from it you get. It's creating, it's, you know what, it's like that other Zen, there's a Zen saying about why do all the rivers run to the ocean? Because the ocean put itself beneath them. The humility of the ocean draws all the rivers to her. And so by creating that vortex, that humility, not self-deprivation, that blah blah blah, whatever that word is, you know what I mean? Deprivation? No. You know, like not by putting yourself down in false humility and, oh, I'm not worthy, but in realizing that, oh, interesting, I've just had the vision of, you know, like Einstein's universe. I don't know if you've seen that. It's like it was a book, and it was a PBS special, and it was talking about different theories of relativity, and how space is curved and time is curved, and you've got a sun, and it curves space around it so that everything that comes toward it gets drawn to it. Self-deprecation. Thank you, Deb. That's what I was trying to say. Not in a self-deprecating way, but putting yourself below by knowing that you are divine and everything you need comes to you. That there is no separation. And just like in Einstein's universe, theory of relativity, you know, I'm always talking about how we're stars, right? To light ourselves up like we are stars, to have that radiance, full radiance, and walk as a star. Well, when you do that, you create a gravity well, that those things that will serve you are drawn to you by creating, it's basically like the ocean lowering herself so that all rivers run to her. And because, okay, I don't think I can find salmon again. Just like salmon, it's that home. Ocean is home. All rivers start from the ocean in the form of steam or, you know, evaporation into the clouds, gets carried across the earth, and then it runs back to rejoin who they already are. Everything you need is part of who you are. And so it's law of attraction. It's like begets like. So that by being that stillness, by being that radiant star that you are, you can't miss anything. It's drawn to you, you know. And it's like Abraham Hicks talks about this being in the vortex and this escrow. Like we've got this escrow. Every time we want something, it's granted, right? Because the universe is a giant yes. And anytime you say you want something or you need something, the universe says yes. But sometimes because we're moving around or, you know, there's interference, those things can't find their way to us, but those things are part, gosh, I'm kind of going into different territory here, but you have this, so basically this idea of when you set up a rocket of desire, like Abraham Hicks talks about, you're actually, that wish is granted, but it's out here somewhere. You're a star, it's orbiting you, but you can't see it yet because you haven't settled you haven't cleared the interference. Like by trying to chase it, you push it away. So again, trying to simplify it, stillness. Allow the answers to come to you. Allow fulfillment to come to you. Allow the money to come to you. Doesn't mean, you know, how do I put this? And so that stillness isn't necessarily inactivity, right? Like I read something one time, a person was told their doctor because they had some illness, and the doctor said, well, go home and get some rest. But this person was of such a nature that like just sitting around doing nothing was anything but restful. And they felt like they had to dance. And so they called their doctor and say, hey, I don't think I'm getting any better when I'm just resting. I want to dance. And the doctor said, well, for some people, dancing is restful. So it's not about physical stillness, physical inactivity. It's about doing those things that bring that stillness to you, that sense of fulfillment, those activities that you lose yourself in and then find yourself in them because you lose yourself in them. In other words, do what is joyful. Be who you are, do what brings you joy. And by default, those things that are searching for you will find you more easily. The more light you radiate out by being your joyful, true self, that clears, that burns away any interference between you and what's trying to seek you. And it draws you in. Your gravity becomes greater for those things that you want in your life. Does that make sense? It's funny because I go off on these tangents and I start to say things and in my mind I'm like, I haven't had a chance to really think this through. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is right, but I have to say it. And so I always feel a little topsy-turvy, like maybe a little top-heavy, like I'm saying these things and I hope they make sense and I hope they're true, but that's what's coming through. And do what you love. Like the thing from, I think like from the 80s about do what you love and the money will follow. It's by fulfilling yourself first. It's about energy. It's about alignment. It's about frequency. And the more aligned you are, the higher your frequency and the easier it is for things to manifest. I hope that helps. I really do. All right, Roulette, you are next. Let's see who's going to play with you, Roulette, this week. Roulette, Tatanka. You got Buffalo. And he came up reversed. And Buffalo is about abundance. You're welcome, love. Buffalo is about abundance. And in reverse, it's not saying that, oh, you're screwed. Oh, you're hitting the skids. You're poor. There's nothing you can do about it. That's not what reverse is. This is like I was telling Valerie. You've got this abundance that is waiting to come to you, but there is something blocking it. It's not so much, you know, and abundance isn't, you know, we think abundance, we automatically think money. And it's not necessarily just money. Abundance, Buffalo was the lifeblood of the Plains Indians, right? Provided everything they needed. Food, shelter, tools, clothing, everything came from Buffalo. And so it's like there's a sense of lack of something. Like a sense that, I don't know if it's a sense of feeling punished or undeserving. But it's more of, it's not that you're in lack. The universe wants you to be happy. The universe wants you to have everything you need. The universe provides everything you need. It's a matter, okay, it's a matter of seeing the miracles. It's a matter of claiming, like, okay, so, speaking about Abraham Hicks, I was listening to an Abraham Hicks thing the other day, and there was a story about, what's her name? Esther Hicks, the one who channels Abraham. It was a story about when she was going through St. Louis. They were touring, they were going through St. Louis, and she told her husband, oh, yay, I can't wait to see the arch, the St. Louis arch. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, we're not going that way. We're not taking that road, so we're not going to see it. And she was like, oh, well, we'll see it the next time. So they're driving, and they come around a corner, and there in the sky is a rainbow. But she said it wasn't shaped like a normal rainbow, totally round. It was kind of peaked the way that the St. Louis arch is. And so her desire to see the arch was fulfilled. And like the point of the story was, you could just talk that off as coincidence, or, you know, wanting to just fill in the blanks, or, you know, magic thinking or whatever. But it's when you have the eyes to see the miracles, to see with your heart, to not only see the miracles, but to feel the connections that are there beneath the surface. Does that make sense? There is no separation. There is, the universe is abundant. The universe is safe, friendly, and abundant. And so, and it's not to say, you know, a lot of people will use that as a weapon against, you know, the poor or the homeless, to say like, oh, well, they're poor, they deserve this, they just have to change how they think, or blah, 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 or whatever, and use it against them as an excuse not to help. But that is not what I'm saying. I am saying you are a bright, brilliant, divine light that the universe wants to fulfill every desire of. And it's a matter of becoming the person who would have, how do I put that? Again, it's vibrational. It's like raising your vibration to become the person where that miracle would be a natural occurrence. Like Kyle Cease, who I mentioned before, does this exercise with people where he has them have a conversation with each other, but speaking as if they were a year in the future. And like if there's something, so it started when he was on his way to an interview for a job, and he starts talking, his friend was driving him to this interview, and he was like, oh, I hope I get this, I hope I get this. He was all stressed out, trying to figure out what to say and trying to figure out all these things, and really worried if he didn't get it. And then something clicked, and he just started talking to his friend as if it were a year in the future. It's like, hey, remember last year when you were driving me to that interview, and I was so worried, and I got there and I aced it. I found out I had nothing to worry about. It was like, I was exactly the right person at the right time, and they hired me on the spot. I realized later I had nothing to worry about, and since then I've grown beyond that job, and I've gained so much more than I could have ever dreamt of by putting yourself in that future place, speaking as though what you're desiring is a foregone conclusion, rather than being something you're reaching for. It becomes something that you just see every day. It's like, oh yeah, there's a pair of shoes on the floor. Those are my shoes, right? It's like, oh yeah, I got that job. Of course I did. It's just the way my life works. So taking in stride rather than reaching, like I've talked before about, you know, when you're playing on the guitar, when you're tuning a guitar, or when you're singing and there's a high note, it's best to go beyond the note and come back. Aim higher than what you're trying for, and then come back. Because if you start below the note, like you're singing, you start below the note and you try to reach the note, then you become strained, you become tight. But if you hit above it to reach the note you're wanting, it's an opening up a little bit more. And the same with tuning the guitar. You tune it higher, and then you come back. And I don't know what the physics of that is or what, but by going past the note and coming back to it, it anchors the string in the right place better. If you reach up for the note, the string isn't set as well, and it will come out of tune quicker. So aim higher than you're even thinking about, and then the things that you're wanting become everyday things, and they're not. So it doesn't become this. There's no big barrier of disbelief that you have to overcome, because it's, of course I have that. Of course that worked out, right? So, I hope that's helpful. I always find that helpful to think of it in that way. All right, Joe, my friend, you are next. Let's see, who is going to walk with Joe this week? And if there's anyone that's come in late, I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we are doing medicine card readings. So, and actually all 6 places are filled up. I'm doing 6 single card readings for people, but please stay and just pay attention to listen with your heart. And if anything I say for someone else resonates with you, know that that is your guidance as well. And also, I ask that my asking price for this video, the energy exchange, is to please share this video. and tag someone in the comments or share it to a friend or to your wall or whatever, but I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, Joe. Ha! All right, Joe. You got Deer, who was the one that came up as the card for everybody, regardless of whether they're getting readings or not. So let me feel into it a little bit deeper and see what exactly. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle, like the story I told earlier about the troll at the base of the mountain. Know that so in the story we had Deer and we had the troll. And the troll was angry and wanted to eat the deer, and the deer just was like, why are you so angry? What did anyone do to hurt you? And for you, yeah, double deer. That troll is like those inner demons. That it's the itty bitty shitty committee. The inner critic, the judgmental part of you that says you're bad. You should have done that better. Good night, Jeff Lynn. Sleep well, my friend. The trolls are those inner demons, and to realize that when that criticism comes up, when that self-judgment comes up, it's not your voice, right? It's the voice of your parents, your teachers. It's voices, echoes from the past of others who had power over you, who were trying to keep you in line, keep you safe. I mean, it wasn't necessarily mean-spirited. It was people trying to keep you safe by keeping you within the bounds. But every time that voice comes up, look beneath the facade. You know, it might look scary, it might look like a troll, but if you look beneath the facade of that troll, you will see the heart of a younger version of you that was judged or criticized or put down. And what that part is asking for is to be seen and to be loved. And so rather than chasing it off or running away from it, embrace it. Feel the feelings and speak to that younger self of yours. And it's like, you are allowed to feel this way in my body. I see you. You are safe. And that is all it takes for those feelings to release. Those feelings are coming up because you're done with them. Because you're at a point where you can heal them. Where they, like I said, all those things had a place in keeping you safe as a kid, but they no longer help. They're in the way now. So they are coming up. If they're coming up, they are coming up to be released. And so see them through the eyes of compassion, through the eyes of wonder, the eyes of a child. See yourself as that younger child and embrace that child. Give that child the love that he didn't get when he was that age. And by loving yourself, looking beneath the facade, the scary facade, that it feels like someone coming at you, something outside of you that's threatening you. Roulette, I saw that you just messaged me something, but I can't really read it while I'm doing this. But it feels like everything is outside of you coming in, but it's actually everything is inside of you coming out. And I want to share with you a little thing that happened to me probably a year ago, or maybe closer to the beginning of the pandemic, when we were all hunkering at home, and I was trying to get my shamanic business up and going and everything and all this stuff, and I was daily doing my pipe ceremony, my sacred pipe ceremony, and checking in with my guides. I'm always like, am I doing okay? Is there something I'm supposed to be doing that I'm not doing? How am I doing? How am I doing? And at one point, my guides finally said, you're the only one here who is judging yourself. They were like, we're all pleased as punch at what you're doing. We all love what you're doing. You're doing fine. We are not judging you. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're supposed to do. We are not going to judge you. Even if you went off script, off course, we are not going to judge you. You are the only one that is judging you. So take back your power from those judgments, from the criticism, and know that they only have as much power as you give them. That you are, like I've said earlier, a divine being of light and love. There is nothing that can threaten that. There is no one more powerful than you. There is no one who has authority over you. You are a sovereign being. Awesome. I wish I could see Joe's face. Yeah, I wish I could. But Joe, I mean, I know you, and you are one of the most amazing people I know. You can do no wrong. Screw what anyone else says. They're speaking from their own experience, from their own lack of information. You know yourself the best. Love yourself. You so deserve it. You are so worthy of it. And love those younger parts of yourself that didn't get the love they needed. Be the love that you needed at a younger age. You will be amazed. That's a form of soul retrieval, right? These parts that were traumatized at an early age, you love them, you release the trauma, you release the pain, and you're left with love. If you need help, you know how to get in contact with me, but you got this. I believe in you. I do. I really, really do. Okay? So, oh, I just got chills. You're doing it, Joe. You are beyond all of that. Okay. The cards are really jumpy tonight. Deb, it's your turn. And the card that jumped out was the old trickster, Coyote. Oh, I love you and appreciate you too, Joe. Thank you. So Deb, Coyote. Yeah, I know we've talked about this before, Deb, and the fact that he came up, you know, usually if he comes up reverse, it's a need to take things lighter. But the fact that he came up upright kind of tells you that you're moving in the right direction. It's like not taking things too seriously. Even things, you know, like the loss of your beloved bunny, you know that it is all, that this world is all life and death, everything is an illusion. And that doesn't And I don't mean in any way to downplay the feelings of loss or to explain away and, oh, just buck up, you know, everything is fine. But at least to have that little bit of you that can see behind the curtain that it's a sadness, but there's also, your rabbit is so happy right now. Leaping higher than they ever did when they were alive. So allow yourself to grieve. And I know how deeply those feelings run. Oh, awesome. She was goofy and silly, so Coyote makes sense. So I think that's that's a message from her to let you know that she is okay, that she's getting to play and to jump, and she had such a joyful life. She was just the happiest little bunny. You made her life on Earth worth living. And beyond just worth living, you made her life enjoyable. It was a reciprocal feeling. Yeah. She's fine. She's happy. Beyond being fine, she's happy. And she's grateful for the life and the love that you gave her. You know, a lot of people take bunnies for granted, or they think, bunny as a pet? What? You know, but you had the eyes and the heart to see her for who she is and to elevate that and to celebrate her bunniness, right? And so she is so grateful. She couldn't have had a better life. That's what she's saying. She couldn't have had a better life. You did good. And she loves you. And part of her playing and goofiness all right, so what I'm getting from her is that I don't know how to put this into words. She can do more from the other side than she ever could from this side to help ignite your goofy nature. Does that make sense? Like, she was goofy and silly, trying to, you know, and reflecting that back to you to get you to be more playful yourself. And I know that playful nature within you. But she's like, now she can get down to brass tacks and she can get in there and actually help you to lighten up. Not that you're not light, you know, and I always worry when I say things because I don't want people to think that I'm judging them or saying they're one thing or another, but I've seen all those different sides of you, and they're all equally beautiful. But she wants to help you to engage that goofy rabbit sense of yourself, if that makes sense. So I hope that's helpful, but that was definitely a message from her, the gratitude and letting you know that she is just happy. Oh, I didn't know their poop doesn't stink. Yes, she's going to push you over the edge of goofiness. And I'm always here to help if you need a helping hand. All right, Nancy, you are next. Our last contestant. Let's see who's going to come and work with you this week. All right, Nancy, you got Grandmother Spider. What's coming to me is you're being asked to write. I don't know if you journal or if you write, but it would be a good exercise for you to write. Write out your feelings. Write out what you want to find in your life, etc. Gratitude. Not sure what all, but you know, it's said that we learned how to write from Spider. That she taught us by the patterns in her web. That's where, that's apparently one of the stories about where the runes came from, where the Norse runes came from, was by patterns in the spider's web. You know, and you can think about Charlotte's Web, you know, radiant pig or whatever. But remember that, like Spider, you create your world. You are the center of your world. And okay. And how do I put this? Don't underestimate the power of words. Whether you write them or say them, pay attention to the words that you use, because words are power. That's why it's called spelling, literally. That's, you cast a spell, your spelling is casting a spell, and words carry our intentions. And the words you use, like I've seen numerous memes about, oh, and even like one with Bruce Lee talking about to never speak poorly of yourself, because every cell of your body hears what you say, and they follow suit according to what you say. Because what you say or what you write is an extension of what you believe. It's an extension of your thoughts. And what you think, as a man thinketh, thus he is. I probably screwed that quote up, but pay attention to the words you use. And even things like, oh, I can't do that. Rather than, like, even if you know, if you find yourself saying that, throw yet at the end of it. I can't do that yet. Always leave an opening, because, you know, the word abracadabra, I don't remember the exact phrase, how it goes in Aramaic, but what it translates into is, as I speak, I create. Your words literally create your reality. Just like the spider, all those threads in the spider's web, every word you say, every word you write, every word is another thread in that web of your world. And you can either get caught in that web, get, pulled in by all the sticky parts, or create this beautiful web that you are the master of, and create the world that allows you the sensitivity to be able to feel your connection to everything else, the web of life, right? And so pay attention to your words and pay attention to your intuition. Your intuition, getting vibes, literally, it's those threads that connect you to all things. And when you get that thread vibrating in a certain way, oh, that's not a good vibe, I'm going to go the other way. That's something dangerous or something I don't want. And then you get this other one going, it's like, oh, that vibe, that's dinner. I'm definitely following in that way. So create your web. Integrity, congruence, be congruent, be authentic, be consistent with your words, and never speak ill of yourself. Never judge, like I was talking with Joe, don't judge yourself. Because you are powerful, you like Spider, you can create worlds. And we're constant, it's that self-talk, what we constantly tell ourselves creates the world we find ourselves in, right? I mean, even if everything is sunny and glowing, we can be walking under this cloud of pain because of our thoughts, because of the words we use to ourselves. So always use words. That's like, if you've ever seen my sacred pipe ceremony that I'll be doing tomorrow night, every Tuesday, I sing a song about walking, may you walk in beauty, and that's what those words mean, because every word, every thought, every action you do creates either love or fear, beauty or ugliness. And so walk in beauty. Always choose the higher feeling thoughts, always, and it doesn't mean you deny the negative. Things suck sometimes, like losing your beloved bunny, right? Allow yourself those feelings, but know that that is just a surface and that there's so much below that, so much joy underneath the pessimistic, judgmental world. And that you literally create your world. The two people could be walking through the same landscape, and one can be just miserable, and the other could be bouncing with joy. It's your choice. And it's the choice, the words, the thoughts that you use that create that world on the most micro level of you, from the very DNA. It affects your DNA, it affects your cells, your physical self, all the way up to creating miracles in your life. So pay attention and give yourself the benefit of the doubt. You don't always have to know the right thing to say or the right thing to do. And if you don't, it's okay to say, I don't know. There is no shame in that. There is no judgment in that. That's being open. By saying I don't know is being open to the unknown and opening to possibilities. Surrendering. I don't know what to do. Show me. Okay? That is what I'm getting. So, again, I hope that helps, Nancy. And to both of you, my condolences on, what was your bunny's name? I'm looking for your bunny's name. I know you put it in there someplace, but my condolences and blessings on and your grief. I know how hard that is. And so that is our night. Thank you, everyone. Josephine. So blessings to you and Josephine. Know that she is just boundlessly happy. And thank you, everyone, for joining me again. If you enjoy this, if you enjoy my energy, my work, please feel free to schedule an appointment with me, schedule a session with me, get a personal reading, or like in a regular reading, you get 5 cards at least. I've had a lot of people coming in lately, getting a reading and a healing, which has been really cool. We get like an hour session. We have time to do cards first, do a reading first, and then do some shamanic healing, including a power animal retrieval, bringing in the energy of a power animal to help. So visit my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, and you can set up schedule a session with me from there. You can look at the other things that I offer, the different services and such. And again, I mentioned Tuesday nights I do a weekly live video at 8 o'clock. No, is it 8? No, 7 o'clock. Gosh. The sun has melted my brain. I apologize. Tuesday nights at 7, I do the Sacred Pipe Ceremony. So you can join me for an hour or so in sacred space to take the world off your shoulders, to connect to Spirit directly, send up your intentions and your prayers. And as this is my full-time job now, I gratefully accept any donations you feel drawn to offer, and my information is underneath this video, which I will share to my Facebook page, and I will upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So if you want to watch this again, you can check out my YouTube channel. I've got over 2 years worth of these videos, these readings, and so if you've got some question or something, just pick one, pop it on, choose a card, whatever, and see what comes out of it. And it'll probably, they're just as vital now, a year or 2 years after the fact, as when I first recorded them. You'll find that you get the information you need. Again, being that star that draws to it everything it needs. Anything else? Oh, and again, for those of you who were going to watch my radio interview tonight, that got rescheduled till September 12th, and I will post updates on my website and on my Facebook page. There was severe weather in Illinois where the station apparently is located, so they had to cancel that for tonight. And so we have rescheduled for September 12th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. I feel like I'm forgetting something else, but if you have any questions, if you want clarity from anything about anything I said, feel free to email me, to message me. I am here to support the community that supports me. That is a shaman's job, and I love my job. And I love you. I love you, I see you, and I honor you. So have a wonderful, wonderful week, my friends. I hope to see you next week. Invite your friends. Please share this video out, and just go shining. Bye, everybody.